Hey guys, it's Mrs. Garcia, and believe it or not, this is my fifth time recording this because it wouldn't record earlier. But third time's a charm. So today is Monday. Happy Monday. And your objective today is you will be able to define and use grade level vocabulary. So the first thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna do some grammar. We've been doing capitalization and some punctuation stuff. So today we're gonna do simple sentences. And then after that, we're going to have some vocabulary. So we're going to read a nonfiction article. And then there are some vocabulary words in there that we want you guys to define based on the reading. So let's get started. First things first, what is a simple sentence? So a simple sentence has a subject, which is who or what is doing something or the action, and then it has a predicate, which is the action being done. So the example given, and we're using colors to match up. So the skeletons danced all night. The skeletons is the who, so our subject, and then what did they do? They danced all night. That's our predicate. So remember, subject is the who or what is doing whatever, and then the predicate is the action being done. So let's look at some of my examples. So let's go. Okay, so my first example that I gave was this sentence: Mrs. Garcia wore black today. And as you can see, we're keeping with the color scheme. So my subject is Mrs. Garcia. And what did I do? I wore black today. That's my predicate. If we're looking at sentence number 2, Alvin, he's my subject. What did he do? He sang the national anthem. That's my predicate. And then for the third one, Samantha, that's my who. And what did Samantha do? She called her mom. That's my predicate. So I hope this is making sense. Subject is who or what, and the predicate is what did they do? What's the action? So now that we have become familiar with that, we are going to complete a grammar practice in Schoology. So what that looks like is it will be in the form of a quiz, and it will say, where is the subject in the following sentence? And then it'll read you a sentence, and you have to click the word in the sentence that you think is the subject. And it'll do the same thing for predicate. And then also you're going to have to type 3 of your own simple sentences. So it should be easy peasy. You are welcome to use your notes as usual. So you can split screen it, or if you think you're good, you can go ahead and do it on your own. But just keep in mind the notes are here as a resource. Okay, so now we're going to read our article, and then I'll explain the next activity. The article is titled A Quick Note on Getting Better at Difficult Things. Bear with me, guys. My throat hurts just a little bit because this is my 4th time reading this, but we will get through it. So here we go. I have been studying the French language with some consistency for 3 years. This field of study has been, all at once, the hardest and most rewarding of my life. I would put it above the study of writing simply because I started writing as a 6-year-old boy under my mother's tutelage. I always felt I could write. I did not always feel I could effectively study a foreign language. But here I am right now in a Montreal hotel. I spoke French at the border. I spoke French when I checked in. I spoke French when we went to get lunch. I don't really believe in fluency. If there's such a thing, I don't have it. I mishear words, I confuse tenses, I can't really use the subjunctive yet. Something has happened to me, and the something is this: I have gotten better. I don't know when I first felt it. I didn't feel it this summer at Middlebury, despite the difference in my entrance and exit scores. I didn't feel it when I first arrived in Paris in January. I felt, as I always feel, like I was stumbling around in the dark. I still feel like that, but I also feel like I'm getting better at stumbling. I am emphasizing how I feel because when studying, it is always as important as any objective reality. Hopelessness feeds the fatigue that leads the student to quit. It is not the study of the language that is so hard, so much as the feeling that your present level is who you are and who you will always be. I remember returning from France at the end of the summer of 2013 and being convinced that I had some kind of brain injury which prevented me from hearing French vowel sounds. But the real enemy was not any injury so much as the feeling of despair. That is why I ignore all the research about children and their language advantage. I don't want to hear it. I just don't care. As Carolyn Forche would say, I'm going to have it. To have it, I must manage my emotional health. Part of that long term management beyond French is giving myself an opportunity to get better at difficult things. There's absolutely nothing in this world like the feeling of sucking at something and then improving at it. Everyone should do it every 10 years or so. I don't know what comes after this. I've said this before and will say it again. Studying French is like a setting in a canoe from California to China. You arrive on the coast of Hawaii and think, wow, that was really far. And then you realize that China is still so very far. Feelings come and go. Likely someone will say something in the next hour or so, which I do not understand, and I will feel a little hopeless again. But right now, I feel high. And one must savor those moments of feeling high because they are not the norm. The lows are the norm, the struggle is the norm. May it ever be thus. Okay, so now that we've read our article, there are a couple words in there that we do not know, and we're going to try to define them. So your goal is to read this passage for each word, and it's on the next 3 slides, and then tell me what you think it means. You're not using the dictionary. We just want to know from your own brain what you think it means, and then what helped you figure out what it meant. So, number 1, I would put it above the study of writing simply because I started writing as a 6-year-old boy under my mother's tutelage. So, you'll type what you think it means and what the context clues were that helped you figure that out. Let's move on to number 2. I spoke French when I checked in. I spoke French when I went to get lunch. I don't really believe in fluency. What do you think fluency means? And what helped you figure that out? Number 3, I am emphasizing how I feel because when studying, it is as important as my objective reality. What do you think objective means? And what helped you figure it out? Number 4, oops. Hopelessness feeds the fatigue that leads the student to quit. What do you think fatigue means? What context clues did you use to help you? And you are done. Bravocado, guys. So, if you are doing this activity later on and you need help from Mrs. Garza or me, you can you can always send us a Schoology message. You can email us. You can write us on Google Hangout, or pop back on the Zoom if you're live, and we can help you with that. But reach out because we can't see you guys and we don't know what you're struggling with. So let us know what you need help with. Have a good Monday, guys.